Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Nashville Youth Design Team Summer Youth Voice Exhibition. Thank you for joining us today.
The Nashville Youth Design Team is an internship that we started in July 2020. We are 11 high school students and we've come together from neighborhoods all over Nashville. We spent the last 2 years trying to answer a question that is important to all of us. What do young people need to stay healthy and
We use an action research process to understand youth wellness in Nashville. Next, we'll walk you through each step of our process and show you how we've used it to make change in Nashville.
Over the past 2 years, we've created a youth wellness map of Nashville and led a safety campaign on Dickerson Pike.
Our research is about how neighborhoods impact youth wellness. We think about 8 different types of wellness, including social connections, mental health, and opportunities to be active. First, we observed our own neighborhoods and mapped the assets, opportunities, and challenges we face in the built environment. We also wanted to hear from as many kids as we could to learn what they think about their neighborhoods, so we created a survey.
After that, we learned about the people and groups who have the most power when it comes to impacting youth wellness in Nashville. That includes groups like the mayor's office, the city council, and the school district. We decided that a map would be the best way to show what was going on in a different neighborhoods across the city.
Here's our map. It's part of a dashboard that also shows kids' wellness scores. We'll share the link to the dashboard with you in the chat. We entered data from our survey into the map, and from this we learned that different areas in Nashville have different needs, and there are lots of areas that we could focus our design work.
After completing all the research and data analysis, we used our findings to create infographics and podcasts for each zip.
When we analyzed the map, it showed us a few important things that we wanted to focus on to raise awareness of the issues we had seen. We formed groups based on what interests us most from the map and ended up with 5 teams focused on themes. Transportation, parks and open spaces, affordable housing, food resources, and community resources. We work with the designers to create site plans and 3D drawings of our design. Finally, we made project plans to figure out the materials we would need, the amount of time and money it would take, how to engage the community, and how to evaluate it.
We presented these designs last year at our exhibition, and our audience voted on which design we should build first. The winning design was a glow-in-the-dark crosswalk at the intersection of Dickerson Pike and Hart Lane. We learned from our survey and map that this was the most dangerous intersection in the city, and our design is all about making it a safer place for pedestrians.
In the fall, we got to work on the Dickerson Pike design. We pitched our idea to city leaders and community members. We even brought the Tennessee Department of Transportation on board as a partner.
After we got funding and permits, we installed a glow-in-the-dark crosswalk and speed buffer to slow cars.
But we couldn't stop there. We needed research to understand if the design actually helped. So we led community walks before and after the installation to learn how the design impacted pedestrians. We took interviews with the local news so that more people could learn about our design.
For the past 4 weeks, we've been meeting together at Belmont University to start our next.
We also added a few new members this year. So before we got started, me and the other returning members spent the first few days teaching new members what we know about good design.
We also needed to practice our community engagement skills for all the work we have planned this summer. We teamed up with the Civic Design Center and created designs for the Secret Sidewalk, a connection under I-40. Brings the Nations and Clifton Park together. It is not being utilized as much as it could be.
We also made a survey to learn what kids and adults would like to see happen to the secret sidewalk.
We set up a tactical urbanism project at the park and invited local residents to hang out at our installation and take our survey.
Last year, we looked at the issues across the whole city. This year, we chose to focus on South Nashville because a lot of our team members live there.
Okay. We research transportation, housing, parks and open spaces, neighborhood identity, and community resources.
Before designing, we needed to learn more about the assets, opportunities, and challenges in South Nashville.
We invited council members and leaders from the Civic Design Center to Belmont to learn about our work and answer questions about South Nashville.
We also invited leaders in education to share their perspectives working with kids in South.
After hearing from adult leaders in South Nashville, we were ready to connect with kids who live there and hear their stories.
We created a focus group protocol to use with kids who lived in South Nashville. Our goal in the focus groups was to hear kids' perspectives so we can bring them into our designs.
We piloted our focus group process with middle school kids at Coleman Park Community Center. We asked questions like, if you had $1 million, what would you change in South Nashville? And if you had a cousin who visited South Nashville from another state, where would you?
Then we analyzed the data and identified key themes from the focus groups. We learned that kids in South Nashville were most concerned with safety, transportation, and youth-oriented community spaces.
We took what we learned from the surveys and created design solutions to improve youth wellness in South Nashville and Antioch.
We got into groups and chose a project based on 3 key themes we found in our data. We analyzed our designs this week, and we are excited to share them with you.
Each group will now be presenting their final designs. At the end of each presentation, we'll have time for 1 to 2 questions. We'll be sharing a link in the chat for a form where you can provide feedback for each group as you watch and vote on your favorite design. Now let's start the group presentation.
Good morning. My name is.
My name is Sydney.
Mine is Grace.
My name is Joseph, and we'll be presenting on a mini soccer field at Antioch Park.
One of the major problems with South Nashville is that youth can connect and enjoy space with each other. We hope to make a space that will be open to all ages so that youth in Nashville have access to better green space. These are a few of the responses we've gotten from youth in South Nashville about what they would like to add to make South Nashville better for them. They feel like food in more active community area, a healthy environment, and more public spaces for kids to hang out would make South Nashville better for them.
Here are a few of our goals for this area. We hope to make this space accessible and functioning for the community. We also want to consider the members of this community and how we can best reflect their collective identity. And last, a design intervention that gives a space for high schoolers and middle schoolers to have entertainment. Antioch Park is the main park people of all ages go to in Antioch. Many people go to this park either walk along the trail, play on the playground, or play soccer. It is across from Antioch Middle and 5 minutes away from the International Indoor Soccer.
What we're proposing is a mini soccer pitch. It is a great way to improve the community while not taking up a lot of space. Around the pitch are flags, which will be decorated by community members and placed around the pitch. Many community members already play soccer in this area and are often seen playing for hours at a time. Many people and possibly families come to watch and spectate the people playing soccer. In order to play, they bring their own goal and sometimes use their own jackets as a goal.
There are 3 phases within our project, with each passing phase resulting in a more permanent construction of our field. Phase 1 of our project is to simply just have the soccer field with the dimensions of a 30 by 20 meters, which will allow for a 5v5s at the most. The soccer goals will incorporate in them, and we also decided to put in soccer safety nets behind the goals, phase 1 as well. So it's like nets just behind the goals, and it'll like stop the soccer ball from going like too far out. In phase 2, we'll strive to add the walls around the soccer field after like around 2 months of it being built, which is around sometime before Christmas after we build it in the fall. So the community has a chance to play in it while they're on break if the weather provides. And phase three, we'll be initiating it during the springtime and start to warm back up. We'll try to incorporate this around like March before spring break so the kids in the community can enjoy it on their time off once construction is finished.
Because of the large number of youth in the area and the number of homes around the park, this system will be used well and would have great improvement in the community. We hope to have different races and cultures design their own flag, which is at the bottom, for us to put up in phase three.
And with a budget of $2,000, we plan to buy field paint, goalposts, flags for the community members to draw on, as well as two safety nets, which will result in a total just under $1,600. And these numbers are only including materials for phase one. And then here are just some pictures of the materials we'll be using. You can see the flags in the bottom left that the community members will draw on. And in terms of how to maintain the area, we will need to be mowing and trimming the area at least once every 2 months. And in addition, we need to keep the area clean of trash as well as conducting general repairs.
We would want to talk to community members such as Antioch middle schoolers and neighboring homeowners. Nashville SC has already done a similar project, so it would be great to partner with them to bring more awareness to the design. In addition, we would need to talk to Councilmember Vercher, who presides over the
To evaluate how effective this implementation is, we'll conduct a public life survey, which counts how many people use the space and is a good indication of how useful the design is. An alternative method to see how effective our design is we could do a survey that measures the amount of people that go to the park during a specific time for a period of 1 to 2 weeks. And when the design is installed, we see how many people were occupied at the park from the same time periods that we measure for 1 to 2 weeks.
I personally live in South Nashville, but I live in a neighborhood that doesn't have a space for teens and preteens. And I know that a soccer spot like this would help generate more interaction. And I thought about the differences in culture within this neighborhood, with some people being of Hispanic and Latin descent. And I thought that even with the language barrier, since most people speak Spanish, sports bring people together, and that promotes a positive well-being overall. And I know the reward from this is that it'll contribute to a more productive society.
I also live in South Nashville, and I feel like I don't fit in as a teen. I personally live 5 to 10 minutes away from Antioch Park, and there are another park that is close to me, which is the Nashville Library Park. And at the park, at the Nashville Library, I feel more involved as a teen than I do at the Antioch Park, because there are more activities for me to do, such as the ice rink or the exercise equipment that's there. But at the Antioch Park, I feel left out just because of the fact that there are more activities for kids and adults rather than teens and preteens. I feel like if we added the soccer park, there would be more involvement in teens across South Nashville, and they would want to get together and come out and play together within the community. Does anybody have any questions?
Hello, my name is Oliver.
Hello, my name is Chris.
My name is Uma, and I'll be starting us off with our group's project. So the problem we decided to address for our project was that the nearest bus stop to Antioch Park is over a mile away, which would take about 45 minutes to walk to the park from the bus stop. And much of this walk would include walking on roads without sidewalks. So the safe accessibility to the parks in Antioch becomes a problem.
Our main reasoning behind doing a bike rack is because in Antioch, we saw that the social, recreation, and physical wellness of teens in Antioch was really low. And a lot of that can be affected by not having safe access to park, schools, bus stops, and other public areas.
Our goal with this project is to encourage more people in the community to get out in the area and to bike to nearby spaces, as well as connect a bike route from the South Nashville Public Library and the bus stop to Antioch Park.
Location we've chosen for the bike rack is in Antioch Park. On the right, there is a sky view of Antioch Park. And if you look to the right of that picture, you'll see a large building. That is a school. And kids need bikes and stuff to go around places if they don't have transportation. But back to our original area, there's a small space in the parking lot on the edge. We determined that this is the best spot because of the unavailability of bike racks in the area, and the space is accessible again to students that are across the street and other people who would like to use the area.
Here's a bird's eye view of the surrounding area. The large red circle marks the site location and the proximity. Orange shows close by schools, blue signifies food restaurants and resources, and green is for places of worship.
And this is a satellite view of the route connecting the bus stop, which is in green, to our location in Antioch Park, which is in orange. This route is not very safe because there's not much room on the sides of the road, if any. And sometimes, depending on what side of the street you are, you're gonna be walking in the grass for a solid 45 minutes.
For our design solution, we went with a simple design of wooden racks with bars on the side so a lock could attach to your bike. And we put all of this on top of a large wooden platform, which we could hold down with sandbags for a more temporary installation. We have also designed a simple geometric mural to go in the space in front of the bike rack.
For community engagement, we will be providing a digital survey for people that visit the install to give feedback. This survey will help us learn more about youth and how they feel about the transportation in Antioch.
We're gonna keep this bike rack installed for 1 month. This allows time for the bike rack to be one, installed, two, to be used by multiple people. And then the last reason why we chose a month is because it gives us enough time to get enough data to see how effective our bike rack was.
Although we have a $2,000 budget, we would only be using about $500 on this project because of the wood material, and this allows us to potentially build more of these bike racks across Nashville while still having enough to repair our original design if needed.
The easy thing is that not much maintenance would be required for this project. Our plan is to check on it every 2 weeks or so to make sure it's intact and still there.
Metro Nashville Parks would be our main organization that we'll be trying to reach out to, because without their permission, we can't install this. But if they do give us permission, their permission plus our small usage of our budget will allow us to build other bike racks in different parks, and even renovate the design and do repairs.
After a month, we'll host a digital survey and see how helpful the bike rack was, how many people have used it, and kind of the interaction with it in the area, and if there's anything that could make the installment more effective. So thank you all for listening, and we hope to connect with some of you in the future.
Before we move on to the next project, are there any questions?
Hey, y'all, it's Eric with the Design Center. I just wanted to say this is I didn't get to see the final. I worked with you, I think, early on, but I like the way this turned out. So, one just note, I think you should look at the Greenways master plan and see if the future of Mill Creek Greenway might even connect through sort of your points of interest here. So just a little point, I guess, and wondering if you considered any other greenway connections or things or future planning efforts in your.
Thank you.
So in terms of kind of the lighting around the area, we kind of looked into that. So since there's kind of a school nearby and the library or community center, we actually found that there were street lights already there. But kind of the mural in front of that was also used to kind of help with the visibility there.
Okay, I'm gonna start our next presentation. My name is Mia.
My name is Charlotte.
And my name is Alex.
And our problem is we have identified a park in South Nashville that isn't being used very much. We heard a concern from youth in South Nashville that want more safe activities to do. By addressing this, we could keep from youth having to take long commutes to get to youth-friendly spaces and help improve the physical, social, mental, environmental, and recreation.
Alex, who works here, has firsthand experience with living in South Nashville and says Whitfield Park is pretty nice, just not a lot of people visit it. We have several other quotes from surveys towards people who live in the area as seen below.
The goals for the area are simple. Try to make it more fun, lively, and have the park feel safer by having more people there.
For the location for the movie in the park installation, we're choosing to do Whitfield Park located on Emerson Pike.
So the intention of our design is to bring in activity to the park for more people to hang out in. We decided to plan a movie night in hopes that youth would come and feel safe hanging out. Here's a picture I made to represent the general idea of what we're going for. I've added people, seats, and a screen. The background is grayscale, so you know what I've added and what was there before.
This is just another visual of what it would look.
Our thoughts on community engagement to promote the event and potentially bring more people to the installation and awareness of the Nashville Youth Design Team are by reaching out to residents, council members.
We plan on doing this for 2 or 3 consecutive weekends in the fall.
With a starting budget of $2,000, we've chosen a projector screen, which is about $650, a projector, which is about $50, some distro lights, which are about $500, and a pole for those lights to hang on for about $150. Lastly, we need a license to show movies here, which according to Charlie's research can range from $300 to $2,000. Best case scenario will end up with a total of about $1,600.
To even start with this, we need permission from the park and we need a license to show movies outside of the event.
Lastly, to make sure that the locals and residents of this new installation will be getting feedback from them either through survey, QR codes, email, etc.
Thank you for listening. If you have any questions, please let us know.
This is a really cool idea. I think one thing you should also consider is making metro parks part of your target stakeholder list. I think you said council member and neighborhood community members, but I think metro parks would be pretty key in all this. I know you had the permitting and that kind of stuff on there, but maybe getting them looped in at the front end, because they do some movie nights and they might have some of these resources available, you know, for the project. So one idea I sort of thought about as you all were talking was, um, did you consider like maybe there might be like a friends group for this park, which is like one of those organizations that supports a specific park, but maybe there's um, an opportunity to create one if there's not already. So just wondering if you considered that as part of this. This could be like, I could see the movie night as like a rallying point for creating like a friends group for Whitfield. So just something to think about.
Thank you. We'll take that into consideration.
Hi all, it's Veronica from the Design Center. And just as a communications person, this particular group, you'd have to consider marketing and advertising when it comes to getting people to come out to the movie night. Did you think of any potential partners who you could recruit for that, whether it was maybe a newsletter or like the Nashville scene? Any folks that might be willing to promote it for you?
We have not yet looked into that, but we could use our Instagram as well. But now that you mentioned that, we can look into doing that as well.
Awesome.
Hey guys, I'm not sure if you can hear me or not right now, but I wanted to go off on a potential like nonprofit that you could somehow involve in this. It's called TIRF, the Tennessee Immigration Refugee and Rights Coalition. They do like a series of movie nights. I think it'd be really cool since they're in South Nashville, sorry, to involve them in like your potential installation for a movie theater to try and connect the community a lot more, just like you intended.
That concludes our presentations. Please take a few minutes to fill out the voting survey if you haven't already. It is in the chat, and we'll email you tomorrow with the results of our
You see at the end of the feedback survey, there are 4 ways you can stay involved. If you have design experience, you can bring your tools to come and help at our next build in the fall. If your work is connected to youth wellness, you can be an expert panelist during our monthly research actions, where we ask influential community members how we can work together to make change. If you believe in our mission to make Nashville better with design, you or your organization can sponsor our next design intervention. And if you know a skill that would help improve our work, you can lead workshop at our next monthly meeting.
You could also stay connected with NYDT on social media. Follow us on Instagram at Nashville Youth Design Team. We will be posting updates of our work all year.
Thank you for attending today. We also like to thank the people that have supported our work, including Amazon and Alliance Bernstein. We want to thank Belmont University for donating the space and the Civic Design Center for helping us along the way. We'll stay on the call in case anyone has questions. Otherwise, have a great day.
Great job, guys. It's Patrick from Alliance Bernstein. I love seeing you all working on these. These look like excellent projects. So congratulations.
Thank you.
Hey, everybody, this is Gary from the Civic Design Center. It was a real pleasure to be able to stop by yesterday and get a chance to meet you and see the preparatory work that you had for your presentations today. Just congratulations again. This is some amazing work that you all pulled together, and good luck.
Thank you.
We're sending the survey link again if you missed it, but other than that, thank you all for coming.
Hey, thank you everyone. We'll be closing the room now.